effort. I was asked, actually yesterday evening, what my expectations were about tonight, and I have to admit that I paused. And I paused because, one, this is my very first effort, so perhaps like many of you or some of you, this is the first time, and so I'm not really sure what to expect. But then it kind of came to me, and I think the first thing I really want is energy. I'd like for us to be excited about participating in this project because one of the things we're doing is that we are trying to look down the road. And perhaps we don't have the same kind of wisdom that the folks who founded our country had and developed our Constitution and everything else. But we can only look out maybe about 5 years, but we're asking you to look out 5 years and 20 years to try and decide what kind of community we want, not just for ourselves, but for the folks who will come after us. And yesterday I was reading an article about hot cities where young people want to live in. And in North Carolina, there are 2 cities in the top 10. And they are Raleigh and they are Charlotte. And I thought about Hampton. And Hampton is not a Raleigh, it's not a Charlotte, it's not an Austin. We are a unique city. And we are unique. We have history that those other places don't have. And I think in our own unique way, we have some other offerings that they don't have. And I say that because there are people who are probably expecting that somehow we're going to have nice new skyscrapers and tall buildings and all this new stuff. And we are a 408-year-old city that is landlocked, and we are some 96 to 97 to 98% built out, depending on who you want to listen to and get your stats from. And so the way that we will grow and the way that we will become a better city is through redevelopment efforts. And in part, what we're asking you tonight to do is to be a part of a planning process that says, if I almost, well, no, you can't start from scratch, but taking what is here, how can we make Hampton the best Hampton that it can be? And I will share with you that I came here with my wife. She was in the military. We came down here the last day of August in 1990. She didn't exactly bring me, scratching and screaming, but we came from North Virginia, and I kind of realized for myself what I did, that absent a military background, that it would be challenging for me to find employment in this area. And so when she got out of the Army Air Force in 1992, one of our plans was to, as fast as we could go, to get back to Northern Virginia. But at the time, I had another semester in grad school. And then opportunities began to present themselves. And the longer I stayed, the longer we stayed, the more that this felt like home. And that's why we are here. Because this feels like, well, this is a unique place. If I find myself repeating myself, it is because we are unique. We have communities and we have areas and histories and attractions that no one else can duplicate. And so it takes a special person to have an appreciation for what we have. Now, we have opportunities, and not a lot of people see that. Several years ago, I used to be a part of a group that met somewhat monthly at Langley Air Force Base. And it was a combination of contractors in this area as well as people who were contractors at Langley and NASA, as well as military individuals and people who were employed at NASA. And one of the things that came out of those meetings was that outside of Northern Virginia, we have actually more high tech in Hampton and in this area than any place else in the state of Virginia. And I think we take that for granted. So for our young people who are looking for opportunities, who are looking for those quote-unquote high-paying jobs, this is a place to be. We have low housing prices, it's affordable. We have opportunities for entertainment and culture, whether it's things that we bring here to our city, or the fact that we can go within about 30 or 40 miles and find all kinds of entertainment and attractions. I think we have here the nucleus, the foundations of what those young people are looking for when they venture off. Now, last Thursday, Vice Mayor Jimmy Gray, our city attorney Sharon Ivory, and I participated in a panel at Bethel High School, sponsored by the Law and Public Safety class. And one of the questions that was asked of us was that if a young person or a homeless person wanted to get our attention and even to offer an idea, would we listen? And my response was, I know for myself, and I believe it is the same for all the members of our council, that yes, we would take the time to listen because we are concerned about each and every resident and also about the visitors who come to our city as well as the businesses in our city. What you feel about our city, what concerns you, concerns us, and we will take the time to listen. I know it's important to have a great quality of life, and I told those young people, and I will tell people everywhere I go, that one of the things I want for our city is a quality of life such that when the young people are growing up, that if they choose to stay in Hampton and maybe go to one of the area community colleges or to one of the area universities, or if they choose to work, or if they choose to go away to the military or to college or go off and work, that the environment in which they grew up would be so affirming and so positive that they would want to come back here. And I think that's the important part of what we were doing here in this planning process. We want to think about the quality of life that we want for ourselves. We want to think about the quality of life that we want for our family members, particularly our children. We want to think about the quality of life and those things that need to be in place for even those individuals who don't yet know that this is where they might choose to be. And so I'm going to sit down, but I want to leave this one thought with you. Again, is that our mission is to, first of all, to collaborate, to bring energy, to bring as much positivity as we can to this whole process. And not just to be just those who are here, but to, when we leave here, to go and tell others that if you think that Hampton is lacking in something, that if you enjoy where you are and what you have, where you live, your community, then come and be a part of this. So again, we can make Hampton the best Hampton that it can be. Welcome.